All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Appreciate everybody for checking in. For more videos like this, check out our NBA Talk playlist. Let's get to it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Kendrick Perkins says that as far as relevancy, James Harden got the Rockets at the level of Hakeem Olajuwon. Let's talk about that. But first, let's talk about how it came out that Westbrook team said that he became the scapegoat in Houston, and basically that's why he wanted out. And yeah, I mean, if James Harden had a history of Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, and now James Harden, then I wouldn't have probably agree. I'll give James Harden the benefit of the doubt. But, I mean, yeah, James Harden, it just looked like he choking big moments and don't take accountability. Now Russell Westbrook had just came off an injury, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, he wasn't going to be 100%, but so did Chris Paul, and it just showed time and time again that Harden just can't carry a team, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? When Kobe had Smush Parker and them dudes, he couldn't really carry them. He carried them to the playoffs. And James Harden, you could take Westbrook off and just put him back on that team. And that team's a playoff team even in the West. You know, but phenomenal. He's a phenomenal scorer. What makes him not a top 10 scorer in NBA history, in my opinion, is just not having the big moments in playoffs. You know, and some people accredit that to fatigue. I credit it to just not being able to show up time and time again, because we've seen him lose to a pedestrian Spurs team that didn't have, pedestrian Spurs teams without Kawhi Leonard in Game 6, and he was at home, and he just lost it, you know. Came close to beating Golden State, going up 2-0 one of them years, and he fumbled the ball back-to-back games and gave the game to Golden State Warriors at Game 1 and Game 2 at Oracle. So, Westbrook went out the same way Chris Paul did. You know, now, I believe that James Harden and Russell Westbrook is probably still on speaking terms, but I think most people said that Kobe was one of the worst teammates in NBA history, if not the worst. In my opinion, Shaquille O'Neal was a worse teammate than Kobe, and I'm gonna say why. You know, and this is probably worth a video, because if you look at it, Shaquille O'Neal alienated one of the nicest guys that ever walked through the NBA, and Anthony Hardaway. Remember, he was jealous that Penny Hardaway got the Nike deal, and he smacked little Penny off the couch. People forget that. You know, Shaquille O'Neal was jealous of Penny Hardaway and left Penny Hardaway because Hardaway was getting too much time, you know, for LA. And it's the same thing with in Minnesota with Stephon Marbury and Kevin Garnett. They could have won championships, in my opinion, had they stayed together and the right pieces around them. But Stephon Marbury was jealous. Just something wrong with them New York guards, you know. Even Larry Brown, something wrong with him, you know, where he alienate and where it's welcome out. But yeah, Shaquille O'Neal fought Darrell right in the locker room. Got in a fight with Scott Skiles, got in a fight with Kobe Bryant. And Kobe was 18, 19 years old, and he fought Kobe at that. So he was just, Shaquille O'Neal, you know, good guy in my opinion, but just was a shitty teammate, and the truth need to be told. But I think James Harden is surpassing Kobe and Shaq, even though we don't know he got into any known fights. But he made Kevin McHale the scapegoat as a coach, Dwight, Chris Paul, and now Russell Westbrook. So, you know, you can say what you want to say about Kobe. Kobe will cuss you out, and Shaq will punch you and beat your ass. But guess what? You're going to advance past the first and second round with them guys. You know, phenomenal talents. You know, but when people say, well, James Harden is a top scorer, the greatest scorer in basketball. No. Michael Jordan became a great scorer when he became one of the greatest scorers when he started winning playoff games. You know, and what he did, he took a step back, trusted his teammates, and he picked and chose when to score just like a true point guard would. And James Harden won a championship. He right there with Durant, Kobe, you know, some of the greatest scorers of all time. Obviously, you got to put Kareem and Karl Malone, because that's who LeBron chased, and LeBron James. Ray Allen, which I think is the greatest. I think he's the greatest most versatile scorer of all time. Look at his career. We talked about the other day. He can dunk. He can finish below the rim in his prime. He can shoot. He can score. He can do everything, you know. So I think Jordan could too, but he wasn't a shooter that Ray was. But that's just my opinion. Not saying that Ray's the greatest, but as far as versatility, he does everything at some point in his career at a high level. You know, some people say Michael Jordan wasn't the greatest three-point shooter, but he made 5 or 6 threes versus the Portland Trailblazers. But Ray Allen did that shit consistently throughout his career. And with Harden, all he do is take one breakthrough. Then he definitely in the top 5 scorers. You know, he can shoot it. He can get off the dribble. He's not a great catch and shoot three-pointer, but he do it good enough. So, you know, with him making Westbrook the scapegoat, I believe it. You know, James got to take accountability. Maybe not in the media, but in the locker room, and it seems like he don't take the accountability. And I think he's a phenomenal player, but he's just not a leader of men. I think he got to get with somebody that's a leader. It ain't got to be the greatest player. I mean, John Stockton, Steve Nash were floor generals and they led their team. I think he needs somebody like that, a GP, obviously Gary Payton, a Mark Jackson, or another strong guy like Shaquille O'Neal, that could really, take hold and kind of get him to the next level. Him and Joel Embiid would work out perfect if Joel Embiid can stay healthy and ball through the playoffs, because he can make the big shots. And I think, he need a Ray Allen, somebody that can make the big shots, a Kobe Bryant, somebody that been there that can get him through. But, for the most part, phenomenal scorer, but terrible leader. I think he's a shitty leader, vocally, lead by example. It's everybody but him. Mikal, White, Dwight, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. It's everybody besides him. When he starts taking accountability in the locker room, then I think, he can go to the next level. But he gonna want them niggas like Karl Malone looking for a championship. Gary Payton ended up getting one, leaving Seattle, going to LA, couldn't get one, lost to the Pistons. Shout out to my Pistons. Check out my Motor City Sports Talk channel on YouTube. And then finally won one in Miami. I think that's kind of gonna be him. Searching for a ring at the end, but he need that big shot taker and big shot maker. Him and Damian Lillard be perfect for each other, especially if they can play better defensively, because Lillard gonna take and make the big shots. But just my opinion. But Kendrick Perkins went on ESPN. I put the screenshot up saying that James Harden he got the Rockets just as relevant as Hakeem Olajuwon did back in the day. And I'm mad at that comment, because Hakeem won a championship during the Jordan era, but then again, Jordan was retired, but he beat the Knicks and he beat the Magic in the championship, and they stomped the Magic. The Magic should have, won the first game. Nick Anderson missing all the free throws. But then again, that was a great young team. And then he beat the Knicks, who broke through the first year Jordan retired. I just think when you're talking about a two-time champion, probably had the greatest statistical, Miles Barkley. He had the greatest accolade, he had the greatest accolade season, if that makes sense. I think he won Finals MVP, NBA MVP, Defensive MVP Player of the Year, MVP. He won all those awards in 1 year. And that's the greatest, award year to anybody else. And then obviously he won the championship. So James Harden ain't never done that before. So I just think that's a hella premature to really give him that give him that praise. Hakeem, I think, they made it to the finals in the 80s, right? I think 1 year. And I think he would have won a championship earlier. I think he would have competed with Michael Jordan in the 90s had Ralph Sampson stayed healthy. And that didn't help. That didn't happen. So if it was a fifth, we all be drunk. But yeah, I think Hakeem, you can't put Hakeem and James Harden in the same breath. You can put them in the same lineup on a Houston all-time great team on 2K if they still got those. I ain't played 2K for real in years. But in the case, I don't think I don't think James Harden should be in the same breath. Now, could he be second? Yeah. Obviously you had an older Charles Barkley. Clyde Drexler came and got a ring. Scottie Pippen came through there. People forget that when he left Chicago. So, you can put them in the same breath if you want to. In my opinion, I just don't think you can put them in the same sentence. Who all Houston had over the years, man? Jesus, like Hakeem would be the great on a lot of teams. He was a phenomenal, footwork you never seen before. The best is when Joel Embiid is healthy, but he was just a blocker, a rebounder, a scorer. He had the post moves that you couldn't emulate. Now, Mikal was the most fundamentally, technically sound post player of all time, but you had to be born with Hakeem had. Hakeem grew up playing soccer and stuff, so Mikal block game. If I had somebody that I was trying to take out of my weed to teach him how to make it to the NBA, be a baller, he was tall, put Kevin Mikal on. Now, if he had unbelievable feet, put Hakeem on. Two of the best block players for just two different reasons. Mikal was a technician on the block. Another guy that's really good was Bernard King on the block. That's who Melo reminded me of with a three-pointer, but this is a different era, so he got to shoot threes. But yeah, I'm not mad at Kendrick Perkins for making that. He made a lot of stupid other claims, but that, he ain't up there. He right under him, but he ain't up there. Hakeem was just something different. James Harden defensively nowhere near how dynamic Hakeem was, and then the way he got up and down the floor, the way he gave it to young Shaq in Orlando. Hakeem, one of my favorite players of all time. Shout out to Otis Thorpe. He played for the Pistons as well too. But hey, let me know what you guys think about the video. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsor, video request. All my social media links in the description. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description. Appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, you can follow us on Sportscastr for all my live streams. I'll be live tonight with boxing. So click the link, create a profile. It's free. Follow me there, or you can follow me on Goodfellas Sports TV 2.0. You want to follow us every time a car door slam, you get up. Other than that, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook group links in the description. If you want to reach out to me, business inquiry, sponsor, video request, whatever it is, hit me up. Appreciate the love, support. We go.